Hey there, this is LaQuita with QuitaBugHandmaids.com. Thank you so much for joining me today for another Stampin' Up! Tutorial. So today I have a project featuring a little bit of watercolor splatter, which I haven't done in a while. And I'm using the shaded summer stamp set. You guys saw me do a tutorial the other day featuring this stamp set. I really like this set. So many sentiments, and I love these two big floral images. Really great set. So let's go ahead and jump right into today's project. Okay, so I've got my pieces here, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take out the piece that I'm going to do the watercolor splatter on, and I'm going to put my other pieces aside. And that is because when I was making my sample, I got splatter literally all over the place, and yeah, all my pieces were splattered. So clear your area, okay? So I'm going to move these to the side. And then I'm just going to bring in some cardboard for my splatter to go on. And I'm going to use Pacific Point actually for my splatter. So this is not a color I use very often. Actually, I don't feel like I see many people use this color. It's kind of, I forget about this color. Oh man, look at that, my ink. It's kind of a mess here in my lid, but so the colors came about for today's card because over on my team of Quita Bug Stampers, we have weekly challenges, and for the week that I'm filming this, our color challenge was to use Pacific Point, Balmy Blue, and Crushed Curry. Okay, so I've got my Pacific Point, and then I'm going to bring in my Pacific Point re-inker, and I am just going to put one drop. I mean, you really don't need much, because this is such a, not that it's a dark color, but the color is very pigmented, so you really don't need that much. Then I am using the medium size here of our water painters, and I've already got some water in my barrel. Hopefully you can see that. So there's already water in there, and you can see the tip is blue now from my Pacific Point, but I'm sure that'll rinse out once I clean my brush. I am just going to, I don't want to do it over my paper here. Let me move it. So this is just regular basic white. Actually, no, this is Whisper White. I haven't started basic white yet. But all you have to do is, you can see here it says push. You literally just push and water will start moving through the barrel. Don't push too hard because then it'll leak out of the sides. So you want to be kind of careful with how you push, but I'm just going to push and get a little bit of water to drip out. So I'm just letting it get down and drip. Okay. And then I'm going to pick up, you see how it starts to get, it's very pigmented. I'm going to pick up some of that color, bring in my cardstock, and then I'm just bringing in one of our clear blocks, and I am just going to start very carefully tapping and splattering, and I can see this is going all over my desk, and I'm just splattering this all over, just tapping my brush against the block. And I'm going to pick up a little bit more, and I think it's kind of dark, so I'm going to add a little more water to it, get a little bit lighter, and move a little further back as well. And then you can also move closer. Okay, I'm going to pick up a little bit more and just go in again. Oh yeah, I like how that's looking. Okay, I think that's perfect. I'm gonna stop there. And then this is my watercolor washcloth. So I'm just gonna drip some water out and then just kind of get the initial bit of color out of the brush, and then I'll wash it really well in my sink, but just to get some of that color out. Then I've just got a paper towel here, and I'm just gonna come in, just kind of press, pick up any bits that are still pretty wet. There we go. Get it off of my desk as well. And then I'm going to use that paper towel to also get this color out of the lid, because it'll bother me if I leave it like that. So I just want to clean it up a little bit. Okay, so I'm just going to bring it in close so you can kind of see what we have here. I really like it. I think it turned out really nice. So now we can die cut this out. I'm gonna bring in my mini machine, of course, and I've got plate number 1, and then I'm gonna put down a cutting plate, and then I'm going to put down my splatter piece, and I'm gonna bring in one of our stitched So Sweetly dies. This is the largest of the scalloped stitched rectangles, and I'm just going to lay this over where I want it. Okay, I think that's where I want to cut it. So then I'll just put my second cutting plate on top and just, whoops, run that through. Then we've got this with that beautiful stitched scalloped edge. I love it. And then I've got another scrap piece of Whisper White. And then I've got one of our rectangle stitched dies. And I am just going to die cut this out for my sentiment. Oh, what am I doing wrong here? Oh, I do not have, I didn't have the first plate going through with it. There we go. Again, a nice stitched border. Then I've got some balmy blue cardstock, and then our heart punch. Then I'm going to bring in all the rest of my pieces here. So for my card base, I've got a piece of basic white thick cardstock. This is cut 4 1/4 inches by 11 inches, and I've scored it at 5 1/2 inches. And I do have all of these measurements over on today's blog post, which is linked down below in the video description. Okay, there we go. So then I'm gonna take this piece of crushed curry. This is cut 3 3/8 by 4 5/8. And then I've got a piece of Pacific Point that is just 1/8 of an inch less on all 4 sides. So the Pacific Point is 3 1/4 by 4 1/2 inches. And I'm actually going to put this on using liquid glue because lately my centering skills have not been so good when there's a really narrow border. So I want to have some wiggle room here to center this up on my crushed curry and get it right. Okay. Yay, that looks perfect. And I'm gonna go ahead and use liquid glue also on this piece, especially since it's much smaller than I normally do on a card front. I wanna make sure I can move it around and again, get it in just the right spot to center it up on my card front. Okay, so you can see you get a nice thick white border. Okay, that looks really good. All right. Then I'm going to bring in some dimensional edges here and adhere this popped up onto my card front. Our beautiful splatter piece. I haven't done a splatter in so long. Okay. Oh, and I just realized I didn't even stamp my sentiment yet. Oh, that's okay, because I still need to stamp my envelope. Okay, so let's see. I think I'm going to put the heaviest concentration of splatter at the top. Okay, now to center this up straight. I think that's straight. Okay. Then I'll go ahead and wait to put the heart on. Okay, sentiment. I'm going to be stamping my sentiment in crushed curry. And I chose a sentiment that says, "Love you, friend." I thought it was perfect for this card with the punched heart, and it fits just right on this die cut rectangle. So center that up, and there we go. It's a perfect fit on that little rectangle. And then I'm going to bring in my envelope here, balmy blue ink, and the small cluster of flowers. And I'm just going to stamp that in the bottom left-hand corner of my envelope. Perfect. Okay, and now I can go back to my card and finish it up. So I'm just going to add a couple of dimensionals to the back of my heart. And I think I want the heart about there, but I'm not going to press down just yet. Let me see where I want my sentiment, because I want it to go all the way to the edge of the Pacific point. Okay, yeah, that looks good. So I can press that down. I'll put a little seal adhesive on the right and then a dimensional off to the left. I hope that's close enough in. And let me line that back up. Yep, that's perfect. And then to finish up this card, I've got some of the Playing with Patterns resin dots, and I'm just going to do one of these larger ones. I'll just put that right there, and then I'll do a small and a medium, like so. And there you have it, you guys. That finishes up today's card. I love these colors together. I would have never paired these together if it wasn't for my team's color challenge. I love it. What do you guys think? I really love how this turned out. And then you've got the matching envelope. You can do this side, or of course, you know I decorated my flap, y'all. I used the Pattern Party designer series paper. That's the host designer paper that you can earn with your Stampin' rewards. So there it is. I love how this card turned out. So I'd love to know what you think of this color combination. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I hope that you have enjoyed this tutorial. Don't forget, you can find all of the measurements and the supplies for today's project over on my coordinating blog post. It's linked down below in the video description, and I do actually have all of the products that I used today linked down below in the video description as well. So thank you again for joining me today, and I'll be back again very soon with another tutorial. Bye now.